Hello, 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 and welcome back to Conspiracy Cantina. My name is Ryan Depaul, or Jedi Master Depaul, if you will, and we are here again talking about the Acolyte, Star Wars: The Acolyte, the TV show. And you know, there's been a lot of rumbling going on, and I have a very special guest today that's joining me to talk about this, to discuss this, and give her thoughts, her feelings, her hot takes, if you will, and just her unhinged. That's what we want to go with, unhingedness around
We'll see
this,
how unhinged we get.
and just the fandom and the overall the episode 4 of the Acolyte and Star Wars in general. So with that, I'm going to let my guest introduce herself and take it away.
Hi, y'all. Lothalyungling. Let's try that again. Lothalyungling on TikTok, and just recently Havoc Workshop on the Instagrams, because I'm attempting to potentially move a little more into that space and document my attempts at trying to get into cosplay. We'll see what happens with that. I finally did one thing today for a cosplay that I've been planning since actually May. That I'm hopefully going to try to bring to Japan. I won't say anything just yet, but it'll hopefully come. I have till October to really get it solidified, because I'm also going to try to go to New York City Comic Con in October. So
Nice, awesome. Okay, cool. And so, are you planning on going to Japan next year too? Or
yeah, so we ended up getting me, Eliana, and Cheyenne ended up getting tickets the night of Star Wars night at Disney. So it opened at like 4, right? And then we needed to be, I felt we had to be in an Uber no later than 5:15, because so we could get there and get through the line, get there at 6, just to maximize the amount of time that we had. So I was trying to do a half face of makeup. I was trying to do part of their makeup. All of us are trying to iron one thing or another. Poor Ellie was trying to finish her cosplay, like last minute con crunch. So we were running around with like chickens with their heads cut off. And then all 3 of us had at least one like laptop or iPad open, so we could be in the queue. And whoever got there first would, get the tickets. I managed to get in within 45 minutes. I was really surprised. And all 3 of us ended up getting the 3-day passes. So we're going. That's about as far as any of us have gotten with Japan. But I was able to very easily convince Ellie to go. And then I had to gently, in my own special way, bully Cheyenne into going. And she relented after maybe like 5 minutes. I'm like, yes. And Marianne would come, but she just said, I can't swing it this time. She's going to wait for 2027. So I'm like, okay, I think you only need one kidney, right? You only need one lobe of your liver, right? You don't need that much. You can still come.
No, I feel you. I actually was on that queue too. The same, we were there together, like hanging out together for Star Wars night in Anaheim. And yeah, I was in the queue. I just happened to come back to the hotel and be in the lobby around that time, because I was like confused. I was like, dude, because me and my son, we was doing Disney all day, and we just happened to have an incident that happened that we had to go back to the hotel and go to the hotel room. I was like, well, it's almost 4 o'clock, so let me queue up and get out these damn tickets. And yeah, I got 3, I believe, 3-day passes, and one's already spoken for, but the other ones, I'm not sure if I'm gonna go. Like I said, because those plane tickets are expensive as heck, and so I'm like, okay, if I go, I gotta take the whole family. So I gotta take my daughter and my wife. So because she was like, you ain't going to Japan without me for the first time. There's no way.
Unit. Thank you very much.
Right. So yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. If not, I might be doing a giveaway. Who knows?
Well, I genuinely do hope you and your family could come, because I feel like your daughter is at the age where she's actually able to appreciate, being in a new place. Like it granted, she might get a little tired after the day too. It's like, I want to go home, but she'll still be old enough to like remember the experience. And I think that'd just be so cool. So fingers crossed for you guys. Again, you only need one kidney, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, I mean, super excited. That's always awesome, and can't wait to hear and see about that cosplay that you're going to be revealing then. So that's going to be awesome. I loved your hunter. What should I say, cosplay, or was it
Bound. It's
bound?
bound.
Bound.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was awesome there. Um,
Thanks.
you're welcome. You're welcome. So the Acolyte, episode 4. Let's get into it now.
Oh, okay, we got to follow up that little. We got to follow that up. Give me your thoughts.
So I liked it, and there's things about it I didn't like. Now I liked it overall, of course, the ending. The ending, like even Disney hit me up on Twitter. It's like they like my post. I post like that ending
Yes.
though. I was like, so that one was like, oh, that was a hell of a cliffhanger. Now it's a mystery, so I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, and I understand, you have to pace it a certain way, and a lot of people are having this gripe, and even I had this little gripe, like, why did like Osha switch up her demeanor that fast?
Oh yeah,
I
that
got
threw me for an absolute loop. Just like that.
it's like, well, I have no reason to do this anymore. And I'm like, is this a
Like,
trap? This is a
she
trick,
just
right?
murdered 2 people, kind of brutally. Let's be real here.
So, and that's the thing, is like, I was like, is she playing him as like, hey, I'm starting to think that you have more to do with it, so call your master out to do it. So I'm going to I'm going to trick you to see if you can be the bait, or we can bait your master to come out and see what's going on. Because the way she was peeking out is almost like in the hut, it's almost like it was almost like a trap, that she's like, I know I got them after me, but at the same time, I'm trying
Apparently,
to get, yeah.
according to JJ, she saw a tweet from one of the writers, or the sole writer of this particular episode. I didn't pay attention to the credits on if it was like multiple writers or just one, but apparently that was like, no, that's it. She did switch. Okay, so there's nothing nefarious behind this. Like that.
Wow.
And then also apparently, according, I think JJ or Sue both said yesterday, again, there was another tweet to where a lot of the story was actually left on the cutting room floor. That's why we're getting such shitty pacing with all of this. And apparently there was an entire fight scene, Kalnaka trying to defend himself, but instead all we get is seeing him sliced open. And I'm like, excuse me, we got to miss the Wookiee fucking fighting the dark side user. Are you kidding me? Like that was what I was really most excited about, I feel, for this project. Because again, it wasn't my most anticipated. Everyone else was foaming at the mouth. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited, but I'm just like, okay. Do I hate it now? No, I'm enjoying it. Like you said, it's a mystery. And I'm gonna be really crass with this, but a lot of the people who are watching the show have obviously never been edged in their entire life, and they just have to get to the climax, the wham bam, thank you, ma'am, to the point where it's just like there is a reason why things are happening the way that they are. Again, maybe a lot of the story has been left in the cutting room, so we're left with more loose ends than we want to be, but it's also just like, you gotta let this play out. I think another quote unquote problem with this show is that people aren't used to this literary technique called in medias res, in the middle. That's what it means, in the middle. And stories that start in the middle, you go back and you learn through flashbacks and whatnot. That's what the story is doing. That's what it's utilizing. The problem is, again, with the instant gratification culture that we have, I feel like a story like this doesn't work in an episodic format, because also, like, we're used to like Clone Wars or almost even Bad Batch, to where we have just episodes and the episode resolves itself within the allotted time. And I feel like a lot of people are still very used to that, or at least being able to binge. Because when The Mandalorian first came out, no, that's a lie. When The Mandalorian came out, it was dropped week by week, like we were used to in the old days in the TV, where you had to go take a bathroom break during the commercials if we heard the theme music back on, or waddling out, pulling up our pants. But for The Mandalorian, I felt like that story was, while there was a larger story at play, that was more episodic, and things were resolved for the most part. And I think that's why The Mandalorian works so well. So season 1, season 2 to a degree, season 3, I'm not going to talk about that one. So I didn't hate it, but I'm also just like, Mandalorian episode 3 or season 3 was very much a means to an end, to the point where it's just like, I don't know what's going on here. Sorry, back to the Acolyte. So and I feel like that's also happened with Kenobi, is that it was a larger story. It was a movie essentially that was cut up into chapters, but with our instant gratification culture, we cannot handle storytelling in that capacity.
Hmm.
So
I
I
agree.
and it just, well, yes, I appreciate how it's that we are getting week by week drops. You know, like someone said, like we can talk about it, we can ruminate, we can speculate. But I'm also just like, okay, I need to know now, especially now that I also feel like we have to learn about these characters, except for like Soul and Osha and potentially May, through flashbacks. And I'm like, y'all were building up Carrie Ann Moss so much. She dies within the first 5 minutes. That's annoying.
Yeah.
She shows up twice in the one flashback and she's kind of a copy bitch. And then we see Kalnaka cook something and then die. And it's like, that's it. You guys were hyping this up so much. And I know that it's only 4 episodes. And yes, it's halfway. Getting a little like, what's happening here? Sweating it a little bit. But
Right.
I have to remember the story is still playing out. We're halfway
Yeah.
through the movie. This is intermission. And is it a little annoying? Yes, but I'm also like, I have to keep that in mind. And rant.
No, no, and all valid points, because last week I was thinking, wait, episode 4, they said it's only 6 episodes. I'm like, really? Like, no, it can't
Only
be only
6? I
6
thought it was
episodes.
8.
Oh, it's 8? Okay, cool. Because somebody said 6. I'm like, there's no way it can be 6. I actually have the schedule. I gotta double check it, but so cool. So halfway through, I get it. I do wish they would have made the episodes longer instead of 30 minutes, because they could have. And I mean, hey, they said that it didn't include in the budget. That pissed me off, because I love Wookiees. If you hairy and furry in Star Wars, I love you. I love Ewoks, Yub Nub. I love Wookiees. Wampa's scared the shit out of me, but I still like them. I like Tauntauns. So, but and so to see a Wookiee, and a Jedi Wookiee would have been awesome to fighting, and you know just more of that backstory of what happened, because they kept on throughout the series so far. They kept on panning to Kilnaka, and they did the stare, like, or the looks and things like that, and the grunts. I don't understand Wookiee, but at the same time, there is meaning behind those looks and those scenes. So I'm like, what's the backstory around this? Come on, like, let's not even just the backstory. Let's see more of the Wookiee. I want to see more of Kilnaka. So that did piss me off too. I'm like, it actually hurts. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think getting more flashback. Again, this is where In Medias Res is really annoying at episodically, because one of my favorite books, it's Inferno by Dan Brown, and he loves using that literary technique. In Medias Res, everything starts already, person's dead or big thing has already happened, and then we have to go through all these, like, all the flashbacks to get back to the point where our story started. So we're still gonna have to go through these flashbacks. And I'm just like, but I want it now.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Like,
And
I can be patient, but also just like, and I think another part of wanting that now is just to shut the fanboys up, because I am getting sick and tired of them saying that it's bad writing. It's just like, again, y'all have never been edged before. Calm down. You are fine.
I hate that statement, bad writing, because they don't even know what bad writing is.
Exactly.
And they use it because they hear other, say, YouTubers or people who say that, and it's like, you can't keep on saying it's bad writing, because explain to me how it's bad writing, and then we'll go
back
over
it up. Tell
if
me
it's
why it's
bad
bad.
writing.
And they say, well, they broke canon. Like, you have been told multiple times in very gentle parenting ways by very nice people who don't call you a motherfucking idiot, like, you dense idiot. Learn how to read and do your due diligence. And instead of reacting right away with that knee-jerk reaction, you take a step back and ask yourself, can I find evidence to support this? And go find it. It's there. And even the author of the comic where in the supposed Force, not vision, dream, but like where they keep taking, where they keep saying that Plagueis Palpatine was the one that manipulated the Force to create Anakin. even the writer said, no, that wasn't real. Like in any capacity, that wasn't real. I wrote this shit. I'm choking on it. Sorry.
It's okay. But not you're right. You're right. And I actually have, like I said, I actually mentioned before, I have the comic. I did a TikTok on that. Say, hey, no, this is not the case. The writer said that this is not the case. This is a vision, and you guys are interpreting that as something totally different. So that scene in the comic, Palpatine did not. It's not Palpatine manipulating the Force. It's a vision that Palpatine has his hands around Vader to the point where he's at. It's like, you have that influence on his life, not the Force of being, hey, I'm going to create him and and manipulate the Force. So you're being born, and I'm your father. That wasn't the case. But yeah, I 100% agree with you on that.
And then Ki-Adi-Mundi. Okay, real
Yeah.
quick. Why do people hate this character? I just thought he looked weird.
So I don't hate him. I don't. I mean, I don't hate him, and I never got why people hate him either. He can be. They said he's annoying because he was like, well, what about the attack on the droid attack on the Wookiees? I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a valid point. He's concerned about the damn Wookiees. Okay, cool. And it was random because they was going through some serious stuff. Like, hey, man, we got the Sith, and everything's going on. Well, what about the droid attack? I'm like, okay, I get it, but that was maybe that was his sector. So he was like, I gotta make sure my job's done. So I don't understand the hate around Ki-Adi-Mundi.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. So I'm like, it's like this. Like, I can't stand Jar Jar. I love the actor. I love you, bro. I respect you as much. I can't stand the character Jar Jar. and and so it's like, okay, cool, but I'm not gonna hate somebody or tear somebody down because they like him. That's fine. I don't like him. Ki-Adi-Mundi, I don't understand that. I mean, he ain't did nothing wrong to me.
Okay.
So,
because a few of our mutuals they were saying some things. I was like, yeah, Ki-Adi-Mundi this, Ki-Adi-Mundi that, and I'm just like, what did he do? I don't know what he did.
right.
Anyway, like with the whole birth thing, like apparently, Christine Boba Fett apparently saw potentially real time or like the full recording of a specific creator who started losing their minds over Ki-Adi-Mundi apparently being alive. And then this person even said, sorry, I'm like trying to get in the frame. Nope, that's not it. Even said, wait, when was he actually born? And went to Wikipedia to try and figure out when he was born. And then I guess the Wayback Machine, which is you can look at websites before they were edited or something like that.
Yeah.
Apparently he verified with that website that it had indeed been changed. And that, but it was still losing his mind that it was changed, even though he didn't know what the birth date was. And I was like, the mental gymnastics that some people are willing to go through to just nitpick and continue feeding into this role that they have so willingly stuck themselves into is kind of, it's like, to me, the definition of insanity. Because it keeps expecting people who realize, yes, we may love this franchise, but it doesn't matter because it's fucking fictional, has no bearing on your life whatsoever. I mean, unless you're maybe working on the movies, and yes, that's your bread and butter. That's it. That's the only way I feel like someone should be upset about Star Wars is if like the studio doesn't pay you well, just like he has done with these actors. And moving on. You might want to cut that bit out. I could be hit for slander. Just you might want to cut that out. but and then expecting, people who have brains and brain cells, more than two, that are not fighting for fourth place, firing, to be upset and come to quote unquote his side, see things from his way. It's like, that's a definition of insanity, sir.
I agree, and it's wild that they. I mean, it's wild that he does that, and I'm like, I don't pay attention to him. I don't watch him. People are like, hey, I'm not even gonna say his name. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, hey, that's fine. Better for you if you don't. So, and I don't know him as a personal. I used to watch him until I was like, wait, hey, something ain't right about this. This ain't right. Like, you have too many people going after other people just who like Star Wars, and you're allowing them to promote and allow that hate to run rampant. As an influencer, you have a responsibility to say, hey, if you're my followers, don't do that. I don't condone that. Plain and simple, do not do that. And if you do that, you're not one of my followers. So I mean, I have no problem saying to people that's like they're straight up like that. It's like I'm not calling people my kids, but it's like my kids. Like if my kid go and does something because I'm giving them information and I'm responsible for their actions. Like, hey, that's your training. Now, granted, most of them are adults and like that, but it's yeah. I'm like, that's a whole nother topic I can go into like for another whole another hour. But but yeah, I mean that whole Wikipedia thing, it's wild because it's not canon until they update it. Like, okay, well, we want to have canon stuff on here. There's stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there on Wikipedia, Wikipedia that's on there that you're just like, hey, it's Star Wars related stuff. It's not accurate all the way. So as soon as they get more stuff, they'll update it to canon. It's like, hey, this is canon. This was Legends. This all this like that. So like people have to understand that. So that whole thing and him getting upset about that's stupid. That's stupid as hell. I'm like, just because you got eggs on your face and you're going off of actual sources that are not true, and now we have true. We still don't know when he technically was born. So until that comes out, hey, on the Star Wars website that Ki-Adi-Mundi was born on this date, we don't know the date he was born. So I'm like, let it be. Just go with the flow of the story, and until we get that information, say, hey, this is the date. Awesome, yeah, it's official now.
Yeah, it's insane. And then that's just all I've been seeing our mutuals and other creators who are saying, hey, I don't hate this show, not my favorite. I have my own criticisms of it, but I don't hate it with this weird vitriol that y'all seem to have. And then it's just unfortunate because a friend of mine had to essentially get off of Twitter because the amount of people that they were blocking, it was just too much for them and their mental health. And I mean, I commend them for realizing that and getting off. But they did a little bit of digging, and a lot of the profiles of these people were in some very insane spaces to the point where it's just like, no, we gotta gatekeep this from you guys. Y'all don't belong here. Like the whole premise of Star Wars is fighting Nazis and fascism. You have no place in this fandom.
I agree. I mean, I agree, and it's like you said, it's literally the whole thing about Star Wars is rebelling rising up and fighting against the fascism and the suppressors and people who are holding you down and trying to literally, I actually read the thing in the Galactic Empire. They was pushing out slavery. They was pushing out people just bullying the citizens and everything like that, and just being assholes, being like fascism, the N word, not the
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
the Z's word, the Yahtzees,
The Yahtzees.
and like that. So it's unfortunate that people are experiencing that. I haven't experienced it personally, and when it's tried, like people say, "Hey, this show sucks." That's your opinion. Okay, that's cool. Hey, I'm sorry that you don't like it, and I'm not gonna force you. But when I see my mutuals get that hate, I do jump in there. I haven't personally I've seen them like certain people do back and forth with comments on TikTok and things like that. But if I ever saw somebody bullying one of my mutuals, I'm always gonna jump in there and support my mutuals. Like if I saw somebody come at you crazy, I'm like, nah, we don't do that here. That's not how we do that. And to hear people getting death threats over this show for liking this show,
it's insane.
It's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, it's so in the long run, be nice, guys. Be cordial. If you don't like the person, just be cordial. When it comes to it's a fictional show. So it's not a real show. I mean, it's not real life thing. It's fake. Enjoy it. It's entertainment.
It is
If you don't like it,
disappointing.
don't watch it. But
Yeah.
so yeah, so back to the show.
Sorry, back on that little
No, no,
rant.
no, it's cool. It's cool. So what do you think about their tracker?
The Basil. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, I felt like that was the most Star Warsy thing that we got because we got the goofy little alien. He was just goofy. I one of my friends posted a meme where it's like "Welcome back, Hunter from the Bad Batch." Just push it. I lost it. I thought it was cute. I don't know why he was having such beef with Pip. That was random. Again, that was the most Star Warsy thing to me. I appreciated it. And I'm just like looking at the animals that inspired this character. Obviously, there's an otter in there, some sort of another family from the Mustelidae family. I think that's what they are, the weasels and whatnot.
Mm.
I might be starting a new series on TikTok, just going into like all of the animals that we see and what I feel the animals were used to inspire these animals, like the bug things. Oh my god, those fucking bug things! Not okay. I don't like that. So those are obviously very much inspired either by chitons or roly polies, and
Yeah.
that scared the ever living shit. I mean, now that I think about it, I think they're more chitons, which are a gastropod, and you left I think before I went to the tide pools, but we got to see some at the tide pools. That was really cool. And they literally have like these armored plates that protect the fleshy slug bit underneath. And they're actually an important cultural food for the indigenous cultures up in like in Alaska. They call them gum boots, I think. I've seen some TikToks of them eating it. I'm like, I can't do it. I mean, if I'm starving, I'll do it, but I can't do it. I'm sorry. Like, I will not touch escargot if even if I left to put it on. Like, me and gastropods, they are
Okay.
too many vectors for too many nasty little parasites. And even if it's cooked, burnt, charred, I will not do it. No, thank you. Anyway, moving on.
Mm.
But like, so I think chitons inspired that, and then the fact that they flew. The first thing that went through my head, like, they fly now, they fly now,
Right.
scared the ever living shit out of me. Like, absolutely not. I love roly polies, but when they're that big, I don't
Yeah.
want that.
That was wild. I was like, what is that thing's moving? It's I was like, it gave me the whole nest feel. I'm like, I was like, then I was like, oh, whoa, are all these gonna start coming alive and then start
That's what
chasing
I
them?
thought was going to
I'm
happen.
yeah. I was like, okay, but
They sense one moving, and then they all move. Like,
yep,
I am a little annoyed that that didn't happen either, because like they spent the CGI to do that one bit where I'm not gonna lie, it didn't do anything to the for the plot. That
it
for lack
didn't.
of a better to say it, that was a filler portion. That little like
Hmm.
2 minute section. Anyone who watches this, do not take that out of context. If you do, I will find you. But like, that was like the most filler portion of this entire episode. I'm like, that was so unnecessary. There was no point for you to spend that bit of the budget on this when you could have given us Kalnaka defending himself.
Exactly. I was just about to say that. I'm like, that makes not like, hey, I would have took Kanaka fighting over that flying bug
Yes.
any day.
Also, like
So
the whole, I don't understand why she touched it either. Like, that was so stupid. Like, don't touch the red button. May, or yeah, May, what the fuck, or Osha, what the fuck you doing? Don't touch the red button. Don't touch the fucking bug thing. Don't touch it. Why are we touching
right?
things?
Who the hell goes in the forest and like, I'm like, nah, I ain't
I mean,
touching
it's like
shit. Let me go.
like one of
But
my
yeah, so
exes, he would go around and just like touch everything when we were on hikes, just touch everything. I'm like, would you stop touching the fucking leaves? Like, granted, he was an ecologist, so like that was like his thing, was to like investigate everything, but he wouldn't stop touching everything. Like, stop touching it.
that's funny.
I'm like, stop. You don't need
I,
to. I mean,
I'm
granted,
I'm
I'll
like
poke
that.
at things, but it's just like,
I'm the same way when I go to the stores. My wife's like, "Why are you touching everything?" I'm like, I just like touching toys and stuff and like see how it feels. I'm sorry.
I mean, something looks fuzzy. I want to touch it. I want
See?
to touch
Yeah.
the fluffy, but not a bug thing. Not a bug thing. No, thank you.
No, not a bug thing. No, not absolutely not. All right. Something that like, I mean, I kind of understand like the whole conversation between Yort and May, not May, but Osha.
Mhm.
And when she was like, "Hey, do me a favor. Like, you have to do me a favor. If I can't pull the trigger or I can't follow through, you have to take out May." And the whole like this May, that's not probably not why you're here. you're here to face your or I can't do that because you're here to face your darkness or your fear or whatever you have to face, your destiny. And I'm like, I can understand why Osha having an issue with that because that's your sister. I get that. That's your twin sister. But I'm like, just that conversation. I mean, there has to be importance to that. There really has to be importance to that little section right there. I'm like, why was that little dialogue right there there?
Yeah, because it was even said that Yor didn't even know that she had a sister, and they grew up as
Yeah,
Padawans together. So it's like, where did this come from? Why are you
yeah.
trying to be a sage person who's like, you don't know me? So what is going on? I don't know. I mean, it was nice to see Yord for once kind of like sort of let his stiffness go,
Hmm.
but it was a very Jedi response
It
as
was.
opposed to a friend response, in my opinion. I think, oh, she was looking for a friend. She wasn't looking for a Jedi.
Yeah, I agree. And and we'll find more out. I'll help me probably next episode or hopefully by end of the season. Um, I do think that we're going to get more seasons. I mean, because there's no way they can wrap this up in one season.
I don't know. I don't see how they can either, to be very honest with you. I would be excited for that because I feel like
Yeah.
they would at least, quote unquote, I should say, satisfy us after edging us for so long. I'm just gonna keep making that because it's that's the only way I feel like people will really understand
Yeah.
my issue with why
I,
people are like pacing it.
it makes
Um,
sense. It totally makes sense.
but I don't know. And also, we're gonna keep on going. Come here. Who are you, sir? Who are you? I know a lot of people saying he's Darth Teeth. I think that's a misdirection. Someone said that he actually is the master, and that's why he is actually the master, or he is the acolyte, and May the master is telling Kamir to use May as part of his test. May is just a pawn in this game.
I agree.
May is not the real acolyte. I'm like, okay, I can get behind that. But I'm also just like, it's just so on the nose and so fucking obvious that they're trying to point, it's Kamir, it's Kamir, it's Kamir. I mean, granted, they probably would have found him hanging by
Mhm.
his boot. So okay, I'm like, all right, that's giving this theory a little bit of backbone to it. But I'm just like, it's so on the nose to the point where I'm like, I don't think Leslie would have done that to us. And if it did, then I would maybe say you could have given us a tad bit more mystery than that. So I don't know. I'm still very much on the fence about who Kamir is, but that when he said, "Oh, you know our master, he likes to collect people," that was
Hmm.
creepy. I'm not gonna lie, that was real creepy.
That was creepy. Yeah. I mean, listen, I know a lot of people are saying this he's a Sith Lord and everything like that. It could be like he could be a Ren. I mean, he might even take the title of Sith. I mean, because I mean, I think that the title of the rule of two is in play right now. So if that's the case, I'm like, okay. I mean, because the acolyte, that you have the master and the apprentice for a Sith. Acolyte was when the whole person of like the back in the Knights of the Old Republic, when the Sith had a whole actual organization before the rule of two. And I'm like, hmm, all right, we'll see how this plays out and what you guys are going to do. It's like I said, they can change stuff up that hasn't been official because I mean, Knights of the Old Republic isn't canon, so
Mm.
we can see what they change up and what they add up or what they make officially make canon and go from there. So that's why I'm not really taking like this stance on like, oh, this is what's happening or this is a Sith or this is a not a Sith or this is an apprentice because we're going off of head canons. That's where we're going. A lot of us are going off of head canons, and a lot of people are going off of head canons. So I'm just enjoying the show. I'm just going for along for the ride, enjoying the show, see what they give us, and go from there. So we'll see, we'll see. But I did like how he appeared. That was
I didn't
dope
like
as hell.
that. That was so fucking scary. I did not like. I don't do horror very well, and that was horror to me. And I'm like, oh, there's something behind me, isn't there? And just the figure and the thing. I didn't like that.
Yeah,
I didn't like that in one. Mm-mm.
No, okay, but I
No,
mean,
I don't do
like,
horror. However, I was talking to Sue about this, but I'm like, um, let me back up. Naf and I were talking about it, and is like, now I just need Star Wars in every genre out there. And then I was talking to Sue about it. I'm like, that was very much horror to me. I think we actually do need a legitimate horror movie set in the Star Wars universe. I'm like, okay, hello, Mr. Jordan Peele, sir, would you like to do this? I think that would be really cool. I think Jordan Peele could really do something with a horror movie, his style of horror in Star
yeah,
Wars. I think he could do it, and I think that would be so fucking cool.
I think he could too, and I think he would be the perfect person for that.
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good Jordan Peele Star Wars horror movie or
I have
series.
never seen any of his stuff. I don't know if I can handle it because I know that it's also a bit of a mind fuck and just
It
like
is.
suspense and like I don't do well with those either because like I already have anxiety, so like having all of that in front of me would just give me even more anxious. But I feel like he could do that, or even I don't know. Sam Raimi could potentially do something, Shyamalan. Oh no, who's the
No, you're right on the M Shyamalan.
Shyamalan?
Yeah, yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
or even he could potentially do it.
I the
Maybe? I don't know, like, because I know that he's
possibly
done some pretty intense stuff, and I think his is a bit more gory.
his is always a hit and miss
Okay.
for me. I
That's
mean, for me, like he has something like, "Oh, okay, that's cool," but it made you think like, what the hell are you doing with this? But the build up for it was always like that suspense, that thriller, that mystery horror. That was what gets you. So, and it's always a misdirect too. I was like, what that was a weird ending, but okay. So yeah, so possibly, but yeah, the Jordan, the man Jordan Peele. That's
hey, if you wanna
damn
make a tweet about that, because people
right,
see your tweets, you wanna make a tweet about that, all I ask is just a little bit of credit if it does
man.
happen.
Holy crap, that's a good one. Um, I hope I won't make a clip out of this one here because that's a good one right there. Um, what else?
Yeah,
So
that was
with
scary.
the tracker, the May and Osha, Kilnaka. I mean that was the most disappointing portion of it. I
I
was so
was
ready to
yeah.
see. I know if you want
Hopefully
to talk
we see
about, but
something
yeah,
in the flashback because we're going to be getting
hopefully,
the Jedi's point of view, or even May's point of view of what happened that night.
yeah,
Um, and I can be patient. Am I getting a little impatient? Yes, I am. But again, it like you said, you're just along for the ride, and I feel like
hmm
that's how a lot of people need to go into media, especially with shows like this. Just you know, you get to set aside your unfortunately this time 28 fucking minutes for the show. I also hated how short it was. I'm sorry. Like, are
that
you
was a little
fucking
short.
kidding me? No. No. So you set aside, your 28 minutes or your hour, the way it should be, like House of the
Should be
Dragon. Um, for a week, you get to talk about it with your friends and engage with your community for like another week. But you don't have to have it dictate your entire fucking life. I mean, I
true.
know the Bad Batch did that with me, but I'm also just like mentally unwell when it comes to that show. So that's beside the point. But it's like it's okay, people. It's okay. You don't have to let it dictate how you feel and how you interact with the world. It's okay.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, and like we all obsess over our favorite Star Wars stuff, and there's nothing wrong with obsessing and going crazy about it. But still, keep your mental health around it. You don't have to be raging over people's liking it or people not liking it or people whatever happens. Like just let it be. It's like, yeah. But
Some of my
yes,
favorite comments that y'all have gotten. It's like, how much is Disney paying you? You're such a shill. So like I've gotten to the point where I've almost commented back where it's like, hey, I'm their friend. Where my money? Where my friendship money?
right.
If
I need my
y'all are
twenty
getting
percent.
paid, where my money?
And see, me, one thing a rule I have, and maybe this is why I don't get those comments anymore because I've had trolls. But if you're a faceless, nameless user,
Oh God.
I don't interact with you. I mean, honestly, I
Mhm.
like I just like you can say all you want. I'm not going to interact with you. And that's just that. It's like, so it's like if you can't put your actual profile picture on it, or actually have an actual username, or both, I'm not messing with you. I'm like you're just ignored from me. And so if somebody else wants to interact with you, and then you get out of pocket, I'm gonna tell them, like, I'm gonna delete this. Hey, cut it out. Like, just don't. It's not worth it, because they're literally trolling and they're just causing issues to piss you off, and they want to get under people's skin. That's, I would say, majority of the people doing that. That's what they want to do. They just want to get under people's skin, and like and fuck it up for you. And I'm like, it's just, it sucks. But yeah, yeah. So it is what it is. I mean, let it be. Like, fuck them. Plain and simple. But so we said, touched on the Sith Lord, or the dark side user, and he was creepy, even with the way he moved and everything, is with the flick of the hand and the head twist and the wobble. I'm like, I heard, and I even thought too, that his movements were puppet like. Like, so was somebody, yeah, so was somebody controlling a dead body, or controlling um control somebody else to do his bidding? Like, I'm like, huh.
That would be so. Ugh, no, thank you.
Right?
I mean, that would be interesting. But then, like, who has that power to puppeteer someone from that distance if the master was not there? I mean, again, it could very well be computer. I know Tia posted a meme where it was like, it was Basil because we didn't see him when he showed up. It's Basil, two Basils in a trench coat. So, I mean, I would fully accept that. No, I'm just kidding. But it was just interesting. Also, God, the fucking Jedi sometimes, like, stand down. It's like, dude, he's not gonna do anything. Stop talking to him. Like, this is the
Right?
time y'all decide to choose to be diplomatic? No, there's a time and a place. This is not the time or place, you idiots.
Listen, somebody pulls a weapon, I'm sorry. Like, if it's a red lightsaber, I'm like, oh, it's not even a blaster. It's another lightsaber. I'm like,
Lightsaber.
oh, okay. Stand down is not gonna work. I'm on defense, so the fact that they was able to get knocked back with a force push that strong,
That was
I'm like,
like, yeah, that was a powerful. He just went like that and just
it's like,
poof.
woof. Like poor poor Osha went flying real fast, like,
Dude, I thought Osha was gonna get Han Solo'd.
right?
I full on thought she was gonna get Han Solo. Like, we see the lightsaber ignite and it's gonna go right through her. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I was like, to be very honest, I almost potentially expected that to be one of the big twists in this thing when that happened. I was like, oh, they're really gonna do this shit. They aren't gonna do this shit, but they're gonna still throw her like halfway into a tree.
Man, he tossed her like a little rag doll. I'm like, oh, he's like, get out my way. And when he force pushed, I'm like, and then they ended. I'm like, oh. And that was the worst edging and denial of climax.
No, same here. And then it just goes to like, wait, what? That's all you're fucking getting? Why would you do? Why?
No, I haven't felt like that since in game in Infinity War. I'm like, oh my, Infinity War. Yeah, I was like, what happened?
That's it.
what,
That's all
what,
you're gonna give
what?
us? What?
And then you see the blue credits. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah,
hopefully
man.
that's going to give us enough hype, but I have a feeling, okay, I hate to collect us all together, but I have a feeling everyone's going to be pissed as hell as if next week is a full on another flashback episode. And we don't get that resolved until the episode after. That has happened before. I have seen that in television before, and it is the worst thing in the entire world.
Dude, that is so anime style right there. Like, they'll do that, like a big old final, like, Kamehameha, or a big final ultimate power move, and then the next episode, like, did they die? Did they survive? They do a whole flashback of when he was a kid, or when they were a kid, and oh yeah, we had, like, is this I'm seeing my life flash before my eyes scene? What's going on? I was like, what happened? And then they, the last 2 minutes, they pan back to the fight, like, oh, they're struggling. I'm like, just a whole fucking filler episode for no fucking reason. Like, you ass. But so I hope it's not like that, because
I kind of hope so too, or else the trolls will just be absolutely insufferable, and also be like, to me, it's like, you god damn it.
right. Oh man. So looking forward to episode 5 on next Tuesday. I'm enjoying the 6 p.m. Pacific time because like
Oh,
I'm not
me
having to
too.
stay. Oh my gosh.
Me too, because
Um,
I'm able to actually see it and not avoid spoilers at work all day. Because again, I'm 3 hours behind you, so I watch it and then I get to maybe go to bed if I had done my dishes, which I normally didn't. But finish it, go to bed, make my potential TikTok, and then call it a night. It's
right.
having because I'm gonna bring it back to Bad Batch once more because it's Bad Batch. Um, like poor Shan and Marianne, they had to deal with me on Wednesdays where I was absolutely stressing and losing my ever living mind in our Discord chat. And then we're finally, all able to go home and watch it. But it's just like I don't like this because even the people who made the edits and they said spoiler, they would do it over a scene that was already from that new episode that was obviously already a spoiler, very clear. They didn't even blur it out. And I'm just like, your edits are great, but your spoiler warning is shit and you need to fix it right now.
Yeah.
So it's just very aggravating, but also nobody works faster than fan artists and editors on TikTok. I swear to God, the episode could drop and like 5 minutes later, you have this fire
Dude,
edit. I'm like, I don't understand. This is
I don't know
amazing,
how to
but
do
I
it.
don't understand how quickly you were
Like,
able to move because editing is hard. I'm trying to edit my recap video for Anaheim.
mhm.
I gave up after 2 hours and I only got 6 seconds of footage into the thing.
Man, like I'm right there with you, and I do it. It's I do YouTube almost as a full time. Like I have my daughter has her a vlog channel that we do together, and I have my channel. I'm about to, another channel I'm about to launch, and my bane, the thorn in my ass, is editing. I hire people. I go on Fiverr to I need this done because I'm behind, and I still haven't finished edit the Anaheim the Star Wars night stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it's so tedious and like boom and boom. You got to understand. So yeah, editing it's an art. So hats off to you, those editors out there, and
Yes.
y'all who are super fast on getting something that just dropped that fast. I'm like,
It's
what
crazy.
in the
It's so
freaking
crazy to
world?
me.
So it's wild. It's wild, but hey, it is what it is. But episode 5 is coming out next Tuesday, and can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
Depends on when you're watching this at right now. Um, so we pretty much covered all the big stuff on it. Any final thoughts?
No, just I'm still excited to see where this goes. Again, not my most anticipated project. I think that also not having it be my most anticipated because I came in with basically no expectations, that I'm just like, I'm vibing. And then the nice thing about this is that once it's all out, I can go back and rewatch it like one big movie, I think the way it was intended to be, or
Mhm.
like the story itself was intended to be. So I'm excited for that. I truly am.
It's funny that you say that. Is this the whole like with no expectations? That since, ever since the Last Jedi, because I went in with expectations, and it messed up my whole
Like experience watching it.
experience. Yes, because I was expecting to find out who Snoke was. I was expecting this. I was expecting to see Luke Skywalker. I was especially expecting to see Luke Skywalker more, and just like and just that portion of it. And I was like, my expectations didn't get resolved at all. And that was the for my wife, who's not even a Star Wars fan. She said, I actually enjoyed it. I'm like, and she had to give me. She's like, well, this was cool, and this was that. Like even like when Luke was like, okay, when he did the force projection, and she was like, that seems very powerful. Like he was across the galaxy, and he projected. I'm like, huh, yeah, okay, yeah. And because you know why? Because I had gone and went through all the YouTube stuff, leaks and everything like that. Oh, this is a leak and this is that, and I'm like, so I was like fiending for it back then for up to the release of it, and so I has had so many damn expectations. But guess what? After I said, you know what, never again will I be watching any trailers like that. I might watch one trailer, the official last trailer, something like that, or the teaser trailer. That's
Mhm.
it. After that, I'm not doing anything else. I'm not gonna look for no leaks, no reviews or anything like that. I'm like, I'm going with no expectations. I'm going to enjoy Star Wars. It's a Star Wars project. I'm going to go and see what it's about, and that was it. Ever since then, I have enjoyed every project that has come out. Not my favorite, but I've enjoyed it because I had going in with no expectations. Like, this is Star Wars. You still get the Star Wars-esque experience. So I'm like, people just they set themselves up for failures with expectations.
Yeah, or headcanons.
Headcanons.
Which was, I feel like, a lot of the fandom menace, the legitimate fandom menace. I do think there are also just trolls who are latching on to this.
Oh yeah.
Just for whatever weird gratification they're getting out of getting some sort of interaction with people. But like, just on that, like, even with Bad Batch, I don't know why they dropped like mid-season trailer that showed a lot, which was kind of crazy. And one of the things that, well, yes, I'm kind of glad like eagle-eyed people pointed it out. I'm also a little upset that they did, because it was when the Marauder got blown up. That was shown in one of the trailers. And it was just a quick second, but they were able to catch it. And I'm like, well, fuck. I don't want that. And I was like, I felt like I was spoiled with that factor. But then another part of me felt a little grateful for that, because like I'd already done that with the Din
Razor
ship.
Crest?
Yes, I already had that with the Razor Crest. That was I was sitting there. I had to pause the Mandalorian. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
you do what? Wait, what? Like, I was like, I don't know why I get so attached to like cars and ships and whatnot, but when like a vehicle goes down, I'm just like, I gotta pour one out. Give me a second. Play taps. Give me 5 minutes here. I can't handle this. So I was like prepared for it. It was still fucking devastating how it happened. But I also felt like I was robbed of that experience, having the people pointed out and then post about it. So it's all a balancing act these days. Like, I don't know what's happening with Skeleton Crew. I hope we at least get one trailer. But beyond that, I'm not gonna search for any like type of speculation and whatnot. Like even with Andor season 2, hopefully Jamal will be able to come back and we can do our podcast with that. So we had a lot of fun, but the man has a legitimate job now and a great life. And he actually is living life, not perpetually online. No, I'm so happy for him. But to go back and talk about it, because I think we went in with Andor, a lot of us went into Andor with a lot of expectations. And to a degree, I think they were definitely met. But now, because season 1 was so good, I feel like people are really gunning for season 2 to be just as good, if not better. And they're going to get pissed if it doesn't meet their expectations. And they're going to once again blame the corporation that is Disney and Kathleen Kennedy, who I don't think had very much to do with any of it. I don't quite know specifically what she does, but I know that I think is less involved in these projects than a lot of people think. So
you're right. She is. She's the one she allows the check to be written. It's like, yes, that's a good project. Yes, pitch it to me. Okay, great. Yes. And then like Dave is the one who's like, okay, we're going to put this together. And that's Dave's new role. He's like, okay, let's put this together, make sure everything is good with the lore. Like, that's why people say, oh, well, the writers suck. So for, what's her name? Leslie, for the Acolyte, she actually, Dave said, hey, if you want to consult with me, let me know. I'll be happy to consult with you on that one. And she did. So people don't realize that. It's like, this is Dave giving the stamp of approval too. So it's not just like, you can't just blame her if you don't like it. Blame Dave too if you don't like it. But there's nothing for me, there's nothing to blame. I'm enjoying it. So it will be, like I said, 4 more episodes. Let's see what we got. And I can't wait. So until the next one. But yeah. So Lothalyungling, thank you so much for being a guest on the show.
Thanks for having me and letting me go on that tirade. You might want to cut out that one bit though, because
you want me to? If you want me to,
I think if someone finds it, they'll hit me for slander. I legitimately think that's going to happen, because they're already upset about the Wikipedia thing. But like, not just like that little bit where I said he didn't pay his.
I mean, you didn't say any names.
I didn't, but I think people can heavily imply who I'm talking about. So it's just that little bit, but everything else where I'm ranting against that creator, please go for it. Cause like,
out of respect to you, I will remove that part. But yeah, so thanks again. Anytime you want to come on, let me know. Like I said, I will be doing this episode per episode for as long as the Acolyte is going on, and because I'm enjoying the show. And hey, if you're watching this, let me know what you think of the Acolyte. Let me know what was your favorite part, what you didn't like, what you did like about the episode 4 or the show in general. I honestly do want to know and see what you guys think. So with
And if you
that,
didn't
guys, we're
like
gonna
it,
wrap.
be constructive.
Yeah, constructive criticism. I mean,
Be
if you want to say,
constructive
"Hey, it's
about
trash,"
it.
that's fine. I mean, but that doesn't really give me anything to go off of. But hey, it's okay. So constructive criticism is wanted if you can, if you know how. But until the next one, guys, thanks for watching. May the force be with you. Oh, make sure also that you hit the like, share, and subscribe to get
Do it.
all the updates for the next episode of the
Do it.
Conspiracy Cantina. So until next one, may the force be with you. You have enough for life, and take care, guys.
Defective and effective till the end.